Today is Halloween. People are out on the streets wearing their costumes, in the stores wearing their costumes. We've got some treats to hand out, but I don't think anyone's going to come to our house. Today I've been pondering, again, as usual, how might there be extra dimensions? Side by side, inside out, on top of each other. I'm reminded of the flatland situation. But a sphere moving through flatland doesn't just pop in all at once as a sphere. Somebody from another dimension, a Yukteswar or a Jesus, might just appear in a room, maybe through a portal. I suppose that, the Bible doesn't say if Jesus just popped in and out or if he materialized through some kind of a portal. Reflecting on my own experiences with telepathy and psychokinesis, the reality of phenomena, I can't deny that. Those have been my experiences. The spiritual dimension. The spirits have been known to speak. It reminds me of an old Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon. There appears to be some reality to what could be called a or the spiritual dimension or dimensions. Nowadays, from a psychological perspective, behaviors or energies would be an explanation. People that seem to be able to read other people's minds, they're really reading body language. Or when there appears to be a conversation going on with somebody in a car or in a room with somebody else on a radio or a television, that would be just chalked up to, well, it's just coincidence, even though the people that are experiencing the situation are blown away and say, nah, this is more than just a coincidence. There's a communication happening here. Experiences vary, there's no doubt about that. The tricks and the treats of reality. The wonder beneath which there is no under. It used to be turtles all the way down. Now it's just sort of some kind of a fuzzy quantum soup with little particles and antiparticles popping in and out of existence. I guess having a turtle myth might not have been as practical as having a quantum mechanical explanation. I remember asking Gene one time, he was working in a photo developing lab, how does it work? He was in charge of maintaining all the chemicals necessary for film to develop. And as he would explain the process, I'd kind of try to get more and more into it, down to, well, what's really going on here? How? And he'd say, Jay, nobody really knows how it works. All they know is that it works. A problem with the spiritual dimension is, even though spirits might be able to be called out and named, maybe even conjured up or invoked, how to measure them, how to quantify them, to be able to put them into the lab oratory. I guess maybe spirits don't want to play in the lab oratory. A fine guessing game, that. The personalities we adopt, each layer on top, and when looking really, really closely, there does not appear to be anything there. The interrogative pronouns, the who and the what, presume that there is something there, some kind of a noun or a verb or a process. The present unfolding of the gift of the present. Candy for the soul? In an ocean of consciousness, in a notion of consciousness, consciousness waves, waves of each thing in particular. Is there really such a thing as consciousness? Of course there is. It's the stuff that's making sense out of these words. Is there a molecule of consciousness? A little bit of stuff? Does consciousness emerge to submerge itself? Over and under and round the merry-go, gently down the stream, and so to row, row, row the boat. Leaves in the fall leave me like a tree, as if one were other than that, aside from which, and which really is which. That's a fine kettle of fish to be brewed, the broods of the broods brooding, as God brooded, and divided the waters from the waters. In the ocean, in an ocean, drops of consciousness evaporated and condensed. They fell to earth like rain, and now they reign supreme, as if there were no supreme being. How can God be non-being? Two exist in another dimension. In some dimensions, there is only one. In some, 10,000. 10,000 things. Castles by the sand, made of sand, near the ocean, near an ocean. I once held a shell up to my ear until I could hear the sea. More than once, actually. And so for those with such an ear, with such an eye, wave. Don't be shy. Ask or don't ask why. As for me, I can only sigh. Yeah, I had a mind to do. I was thinking a little bit ago how there are activists. I consider myself to be an inactivist. A lot of people want to get involved, and I like to remain uninvolved. I might think of myself as apathetic. Somebody else might just think of me as being pathetic. That's okay with me. I don't mind. What really matters matters. I like to see how energy matters. To have it when it motivates, like that for sure. When the tide goes out, when the surf's not up, that's okay too. I just hang around and try to count the grains of sand on the beaches along the coasting lines.